this masterclass is talking about in and out of an 27001 audit. So we are going to understand from the scratch. I will give you a very crisp idea about how actually the audit is been performed. Okay. So specifically, we are going to target on 27001, this audit. Okay. So what will be the agenda for the masterclass? First, we are going to discuss, we will be sitting onto the same level. So for that to fill the gap, we are going to understand the foundation. We are going to understand the basic things of 27001. Okay. From there, we will move into our next stage. That will be your audit lifecycle. We will start preparing for the audit, what things required for the preparation, and then we will start executing the audit. Okay. So that will be our stage number 2. In stage number 3, whatever execution has been done, whatever problem you have identified, now we have to report that problem. We have to go with a documentation. Okay, so in audit, we use this technical term, non-conformity. This is our technical terminology. We will be using it. Okay, so if there is any problem, we name it as a non-conformity. Okay, now we are going to identify that problem. We are going to identify that non-conformity, and that non-conformity need to be reported as well, because audit is all about a documentation. Okay, what task you are doing, we have to give a validation for that task. Okay, and how to give the validation? By giving an report, or you can say by providing a document. That document will be acting as an evidence. Okay, so we'll understand how the reporting has been done, how to report the non-conformity, and after that, the last stage will be your after the audit. Okay, so whatever non-conformities are, we are going to take and follow up. With that, organization is going to maintain what? We are going to maintain the certificate, or they are going to maintain the ISMS standard. We call it as a continuous improvement. Okay. And then I will be giving you a few tips for the certification as well. Certification for the organization and individual certification as well. How individual you can aim for this 27001 certificate. Okay. So this will be the agenda for our masterclass. Okay, starting with a very basic and then moving into the step-by-step approach about the audit. Okay, so let's begin with the masterclass. Okay. And one more thing, this masterclass has been divided into 2 phases. Okay, so today we are going to discuss the pre-stage. That will be your foundation. Apart from that, we will be preparing for the audit. Okay, tomorrow we will be talking about the execution and the report writing. And lastly, few tips and tricks. Okay, so like this, we have divided this masterclass for 2 days. Good. Now, as you can see on the screen, the first thing come into the mind is what is an ISO? Okay. Now, if I look into the definition which has been given, ISO stands for International Organization for Standardization in Worldwide Federation of National Standard Bodies, and there are lots of an ISO members. We call it as an ISO member bodies. Okay. So ISO stands for International Organization for Standardization. Now what it is? It is an independent and non-government international organization. Okay. And what does this ISO do? They develop and publish the standard. Okay. So ISO generally develop and publish the standard. And why? Because this standard ensure that the quality, safety, efficiency, and you can say the integrity is been maintained. Okay, whether it's specifically for the product, or whether it's specifically for the service, or whether it's specifically for the system. Okay, and when this body came into the picture, generally you can say the tentative year is in 1947. The first you can say this body has been developed. Okay, so as I said, ISO is an independent, non-governmental you can say organization. This organization, what they do on a regular basis, they publish the standard, and this standard makes sure that the quality, safety, and efficiency has been maintained, whether it's for the product, whether it's for the service, or whether it's for the you can say for the system. Okay. Now, how this standard has been developed? Okay. So what generally ISO do? If you visit the website of an ISO, you will see. For example, let's say I want to see what is the current stage of 27001. Okay, when this new version is been published. Okay, I'm hoping everyone has been aware that currently we are following the 2022 version. Okay. So from where we will be getting all this update? So you can directly visit the website of an ISO. There you will see the complete timeline. What is the current stage of this ISO is. Now who will decide this? When we need an update. Okay, so at present we are following the 2022 version. Okay, now after how many years we will be requiring a new update? After how many years there will be a new, we can say, revision will be happen. So what ISO generally do? Okay, so they follow a practice, a general practice. Now what the general practice are? There are multiple organizations, or you can say there are multiple ISO member body who have been associated with this ISO. Every country is been member of this ISO. Okay, so what they do? First they propose. Okay, they propose that we want to review, or we want to can say update the current standard. Okay, so generally this has been done by the national bodies. So they send a proposal. What ISO is going to do? They will be in committee who will be sitting all together. They will be gathering the feedback from all these members. Okay, if there are multiple positive feedbacks, there will be inquiry. Okay, so inquiry stage will be happening. The member, they are going to they are going to you can say draft some international standard, and this will be circulated between the ISO members. Okay, voting system will happen. Now once this has been done, the approval will be given. Okay, the final draft of your international standard, we call it as an FDIS. This draft will be submitted for the approval. Now if the member if the members feel so that we require this update, they will publish it. Okay, the new version, or you can say the final version, will be published of that standard. Okay, now if you have seen previously, we are following the 2030 version, 2013 version. Okay, in 2019, generally what happens in ISO, this review mechanism happens after every 5 years. This is the general standard what they follow. After every 5 years, there will be a committee who will be sitting all together. They will be deciding whether we want an update, whether we want to make the changes. If everyone is being giving can say a positive feedback, then ISO will consider and they will make the changes. They will revise the changes. So after every 5 years, this will happen. Okay, so in 2013, the new version was been released in 2019, where all the bodies said that we can keep the current standard, we can follow the existing one, no required for any changes. So they carried the same version. Okay, so they continued with the same version. In 2022, again there was a review. Okay, now there were lots of things happened in past. Okay, there was a pandemic which been stuck in between. So lots of an organization has moved from offices to work from home, can say the premises as well. Okay, lots of things have been changed. Multiple attacks have been were been happened. Okay, new vulnerabilities have been listed. Now to make the changes, what ISO did, they introduced new controls. Okay, not only that, they have you can say they have merged few of the controls as well. Okay, and this was been released in 2022. Okay, if you see the current standard is very much precise as well as compared to 2013. Okay, so currently we are going to talk about the 2022 version first of all. So everyone keep this in mind. 27,001 2022, where you can see all the details. You can simply visit the ISO website. Here you will see the complete timeline. First is an confirmation. Okay, second is your revised, and third one is your withdrawn. You will see this timeline. Okay, when the confirmation has been given, when the current standard has been revised, and which standard has been withdrawn. You will see the complete timeline directly in the website. Okay. Now, I hope everyone clear with the ISO. Okay. Now, but there is one more thing. Okay. We are not only going to talk about ISO, we are going to talk about a specific standard. What that standard is? That standard is known as your 27,001 standard. Now, this standard is your requirement standard. Okay. So ISO publish multiple standards. Now there are certain the standard which we call it as a requirement standard, and there are certain standard which we call it as a guidance standard. Guidance standards are what? These are your guides. Okay, giving you the reference. So if you want to follow, you can follow. It's totally optional. Okay, so we can follow the guidance standard. Now, what isn't required? Requirement means it's a mandatory thing. If you are accepting, if you are following that standard, mandatory, you have to follow each and everything what is been given in that standard. Okay, so wherever you will see the requirement standard, that requirement standard you can get certified from that standard. Okay, you will see the certificate for that standard as well. Okay, so we are going to talk on the 27001. Specifically, we also call it as an ISMS. Okay, so whatever words, whatever terms I'm using, these are the you can say the keywords which we generally use in an audit. ISMS 27001 requirement. These are the vocabularies. Okay, which generally auditor is going to use it during the audit. Okay, so I want everyone feel comfortable with this word. Whenever I will be using this keyword, so you can simply connect the dot. Okay, ISO stands for an international organizational standard, and specifically, Abhishek has been talking about the 27001. It's a requirement standard. That means you can get certified. Organization can get certified against today's standard. Okay, and how to follow this standard? We have some of the guides available. Okay, so those are also known as your guidance standard. Guidance standard. Okay, I will be talking one more keyword. I will be using one more terminology. That is an ISMS. Okay, a short form of an information security management system. Okay, we call it as an ISMS. Okay. Now, under to ISO, what we are going to cover? We are going to cover lots of things. Okay. If you have seen the document, the standard document, let me quickly show you the document as well. So as an auditor, I will be carrying this document. Okay. So as an auditor, I will be carrying this standard document. We call it as an ISMS standard. Okay. So what this document is be talking about? This document is be talking about the clauses and control. Okay. So these are the clauses which we are going to follow during an audit. Clause number 4, context of the organization. Clause number 5, leadership. Clause number 6, planning. Clause number 7, support. Clause number 8, operation. Clause number 9, performance evaluation, and 10 is your improvement. Okay. Along with that, as I said, we have complete control list as well into this ISMS manual. There are 93 controls in total. Okay. This 93 controls are been grouped into four, I can say, four group, or we also call it as in themes. Okay. One is your organization control. All the control related to the organization will be sitting into this. Okay. Then we have the second theme. We call it as in people control. The control related to the people will be clubbed under to this. Okay, then we have the second section, or you can say the third one is your physical control. All the physical security will be coming under to your physical control. And last one is your control related to the technology. Whatever technology has been used by the organization will be coming under to this technological control. Okay, so there are in total 93 controls which are being grouped into four themes. We have the organization control, we have the people control, we have the physical control, and we have the technological control. Okay, so we follow the clauses, clause 4 to clause 10. This is the core ISMS requirement: context, leadership, planning, support, operational performance, and improvement. Okay, apart from that, we refer the controls as well. Okay, now the ISO audit landscape. Okay, now what is the purpose of this audit? Why we are understanding the audit, or why generally an organization do an audit? Okay, what benefit they will be getting? Okay, let's suppose there is a small organization, okay, who is giving a service. Okay, now what they want to do, they want to make a better presence in the market. Not only that, they have to give, or you can say they have to give certain assurance as well to their client that each and every data is safe and secure. So what best they can do? They can simply adopt this 27001. Okay. So with this 27001, what benefit you will be getting? So ISO 27001 audit verifies what an organization information security management system is been compliant or not. Not only that, it ensures that it has been aligned with the standard requirement. It builds the stakeholder confidence as well. Okay. So first of all, what is the purpose of the audit? The purpose of the audit is to make sure that we are following the ISMS. Okay. Not only that, we are giving a full confidence to the stakeholders too, that your data, that each and everything is being maintained, properly maintained. Okay. So we are going to protect the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of your information. Not only that, this is going to help the organization that how you are going to identify, how you are going to manage the security risk systematically. Okay. Not only that, we are following some of the legal compliance as well, contractual requirement as well, or any particular regulatory obligation as well, because laws will be sitting onto the top. And based on that law, we will follow the standard, whichever standard you have been adopting. Okay, so generally what we are going to cover, first of all, we are going to cover all the requirement per, you can say, all the core ISMS requirement that is given under 2-year clauses. Apart from that, we are going to refer the 93 controls too. Okay, so with this, I'm going to verify the policy document. I'm going to verify the risk management document. I'm going to verify the roles and responsibility which has been defined by that management. And along with that, I'm going to test the control too. This is what the auditor do. Okay, so we need to ensure the you can say security risk management system, how well the security risk management system has been followed. Okay, whether they are identifying the threat, whether they are identifying the risk, okay, and how they are going to treat the risk. Okay, so this is what the organization will going to do to maintain the ISMS. Okay, and everything we are going to discuss. Okay, how risk is been identified. Okay, followed by what is this, what is this risk assessment is, what all those things are. Okay, each and everything we are going to discuss. Don't worry. I will be giving you the practical walkthrough, how actually this thing work onto in real time. Okay, so the purpose of the audit is to maintain the ISMS. Along with that, I am ensuring that my standard is been aligned with the organization and I am building the trust with the stakeholders as well. Okay. Now, what type of an audit we are going to do? So generally there are 3 types of an audit. Okay. So there are 3 types of audit. Now, what are the 3 types? We call it as a first party audit. We call it as a second party audit, and we call it as a third party audit. So people generally get confused over here. What is in second party and third party audit? So first of all, let's understand what these types of audits are. Okay. So whenever you hear or whenever you see this term first party audit, that means it's an internal audit. Okay. So first party audit is the audit for self-assessment. Okay. So any organization want to check what is their current state, where they want to see where they have been sitting. So they will be performing the first party audit. Okay, so we are going to identify the internal gap before any external audit or before any certification, whether we are fulfilling the requirement or not, or each and every requirement which has been given by that standard. Okay, how to test that? We conduct an audit, internal audit. That is what your first party audit is. Okay, where we can say evaluate the HR team, where we evaluate the IT department, where we evaluate the DevOps department to ensure that the control like access control, okay, training are being implemented properly or not. So that is what we are going to check. Okay, then we have is your second party audit. Okay, so second party audit is what? Supplier audit. Okay, when we are evaluating the customer, when we are evaluating the vendors, we call it as a second party audit. Okay. So you are doing what? You are simply evaluating your partners or the contractors. Okay. Why? To check whether they are following or whether they are been agreeing onto the security requirement or not. And with this, we can reduce the third party risk into our supply chain as well. Okay, for example, we are taking a service from the cloud service provider. So what we are going to check? We are going to check whether the client company verifies the compliance, whether the client company is going to follow the contract which has been agreed by both the parties or not. That is what we are going to check. Okay, that type of an audit is known as your second party audit. Okay, or you have also heard this terms as well, vendor assessment. Okay, third party risk assessment. This comes under to your second party audit. And lastly, we have is your third party audit. Now, third party audit is what? This audit has been done by whom? By an independent body. And that independent body is going to provide you the certificate. Okay, the ISO certificate, the 27001 certificate. That is what your third party audit is. So independent accreditation certification body, they are going to evaluate your organization. The external auditor will be visiting your site. They will be checking whether you are fulfilling the requirement given under to your 27001. Okay. If the commitment has been given, the certificate will be rewarded. Okay. And who is going to perform this? Any accreditation body. We have lots of an accreditation body in the market. You can contact with the BSI, you can contact TUV, you can contact DNV as well. These are the independent accreditation body who provide the certificate for the organization. Okay. So any certification audit is known as your third party audit. Okay. First party audit. Just a second. Okay. So first party audit, what we do an internal audit. We also call it as an self-assessment. Okay. So we check, generally this has been done annually, you can say biannually. Okay. So you can, it's depend onto the organization, and recommendation is at least once in a year. This needs to be done before the certification. You can go twice a year or you can go thrice a year as well. Depends on to the organization to organization. But at least recommendation has been saying that at least this is need to be done before the certification audit once in a year. Okay. Then we have the second party audit. So second party audit is you are performing an vendor assessment. Okay, we check the partner, we check the vendor whether they have been compliant or not. Okay, so we are auditing a SaaS provider for the security checks. Okay, then we have the third party audit. So this is an independent certification body. Okay, who is going to provide you the certificate on 27001. Okay, and with that certification you will be getting the badge as well, ISO 27001 badge. You can use that badge for the marketing or can say for multiple purpose. Okay, so we have three types of audit: first party, second party, third party. Internal audit, vendor assessment, and then is your certification audit. Okay, now how actually the audit? Now I hope everyone is clear. What is the purpose? Purpose is to maintain the ISMS. And what type of an audit? Whether you can, let's suppose I am evaluating my own organization. So we are going to do an first party audit. If I am a part of a certification body, I will be doing a third party audit. Okay, so these are the two types of audit which generally performed. Okay, now how this audit has been done? That is the main question. How this has been done and what is the process to do this audit? Okay, let's suppose I am evaluating InfosecTrain. Okay, I am going to do an audit for the InfosecTrain. Now, how I will be starting this project? What will be my first stage? What will be my first step? Okay, so let's begin with, let's understand that complete process. Okay, so we understood about the standard. Okay, the basic thing about the standard. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to define the scope. Okay, so we are going to define the scope. We are going to create a document. We call it as a scope document. That if InfosecTrain need to do an audit, what all things need to be covered? Okay, where that audit need to be done, in the whole organization or to a specific portion or to a specific process of that organization. So we call it as a scope, where we pinpoint ISMS boundary. Okay, scope is what? It's in boundary. Okay, so we are going to define the scope. We are going to create a document for the scope, and what all things have been included in that scope document, we will talk on that as well. Okay, so you guys can take a note of it parallelly. Then we will be doing a risk assessment. Okay, we will be performing a risk assessment and we will be giving an idea about the treatment as well. Whatever risk has been identified, that risk need to be treated as well. Okay, so we will prepare a strategy for the risk assessment. We will perform the risk assessment and then we will prepare the treatment plan as well. Okay, then we will move into the next stage, which is your documentation stage. We will create the policies, we will create the procedure, we will keep the records. Okay, we will make the final report over here. Okay, and further we will create a general timeline of the audit. Okay, when the next audit need to be planned or when the next audit need to be done. Okay, so this is what activity we are going to do and understand. Okay, so we all are starting with a project. Okay, that project is ISO 27001 audit. Okay, so let's suppose we all are a part of that project. Everyone is an auditor. Let's act like an auditor now. Okay, now as an auditor, we are evaluating an InfosecTrain. Okay, now what is the first thing? First thing is we are going to define a scope. Okay, we are going to specify ISMS boundary, clauses and control need to be audited. Okay, so with this, we can give an full attention to that area. A simple thing. Okay, so if you have the scope, that means we are going to give our full attention to that area. Okay, a clear objective, a guide need to be processed. Okay, then we will be moving into the stage number 2. We will be appointing the auditors. We will be evaluating each and every auditor whether they have been qualified or not. What will be their roles and responsibilities? Because every auditor will be doing the task. We will be assigning the roles and responsibility to each and every auditor. We will develop a plan. Okay, the audit will be last for 5 days, 4 days, 6 days. Okay, there will be a meeting with the management and then we will be beginning with the audit. Okay, so it is not like that directly the project has been assigned and we will start with the audit. No, there are lots of things need to be done first. Okay, lots of paperwork need to be done. Okay, and what are those paperwork? That is what we are going to talk. Okay, so what is the first thing we are going to talk on the scope? Let's define the scope. Okay, now how this scope document has been prepared? These all are the major area which you are going to include in your scope document. Okay, so whenever I will be preparing a scope document, this all things I am going to include in that document. Okay, so first I am going to mention the name of the organization in the first page. Okay, for example, organization name, that is InfosecTrain. Okay, so this is my document version 1.0, my first document. Okay, approved date. Okay, who has reviewed this scope document? Your CISO or the top management. And next, review date. Okay, so this will be my index. Okay, on the first page, your organization name, document unique number, who has approved this document, because as an author, you cannot review, you cannot approve your own document. So there will be the management who is going to involved in that project, who is going to approve that project, on which date it has been approved, and who has approved that project, or you can say who has approved that particular document. Okay, and then we will come into the next page. Next page, what is the purpose of this scope? Okay, what this document has been talking about? This document has been talking about that we are following the ISMS standard for InfosecTrain. Okay. Why? In accordance to the requirement standard, which is your 27001. Okay. This scope is including all the physical area, because we are considering each and everything. Okay, we are not omitting any department. We are considering, we are planning for the certificate to the whole organization. Okay, so this scope include physical, logical, and organization boundary. Okay, where the ISMS has been implemented and maintained. So this is the purpose of this document. Okay, so this document has been defining the scope of ISMS for which company, whatever the company name is. In our case, it's an InfosecTrain we are considering. And what you are including, we are including each and everything in the scope. We are including the physical area, we are including the logical as well, logical areas as well. We are including the organization boundaries as well. Each and everything has been included. We are covering each and everything. Okay, and testing whether the ISMS has been properly maintained and implemented or not. Okay, then we will move into the next class, next phase. That is your organization overview. Give the details about your organization. What the organization is all about. Okay, so InfosecTrain, it's a mid-sized IT service company providing, you can say, multiple services. Whatever services are, they have been providing. List that service. Okay, so they are providing a service as in training. They are providing a service into consultancy. They are providing some cloud hosting a managed service as well, and some cybersecurity consultancy to global client. Okay, and this organization operate from can say from a single primary office or multiple offices. Okay, so if there are multiple offices, we are going to give the location details as well. Okay, where the office has been located. One office has been located in the Bangalore. One office is located in the, you can say, in the Noida, and there are certain remote team who have been working from globally as well. Okay, so each and everything need to be clearly maintained about the organization. Now, once you have given the information about the organization, then we will be moving into the next page, ISMS scope statement. Okay, here you are going to provide the scope information. Okay, that information security management system for InfosecTrain. Okay, what all things you are going to cover? We are going to cover all the business. Okay, apart from that, we are considering the process as well. Every process, each and every people who have been a part of that process. Okay, apart from that, there are services as well, which has been used. There are certain application as well, which has been used internally, and the infrastructure also, physical thing. Okay, all the software, supporting software, all the cloud services, any consultancies, okay, any client, or you can say the administrative function as well. Each and everything is been considered. Each and everything need to be mentioned in this, because we are covering the complete organization. Okay, each and everything need to be mentioned in this scope statement. What all things you are going to cover? We are covering each and everything. Okay, and then provide the justification why you are covering this. Provide a justification. Okay, we want to protect the client and internal, you can say the internal employees information. We want to make sure that the details have been kept safe. Okay, not only that, we are fulfilling the contractual and some of the regulatory obligations as well. Okay, we are giving the full alignment with the business objective. Okay, so give the justification why you are adopting this ISO 27001 and why you are covering the whole organization. Okay, then the scope boundary. What is your scope boundary? Complete organization. Okay, where that organization is. So first, you are going to include the physical boundary. Okay, the location. So I'm going to include the physical boundary first. Okay, so that will be your location. Okay, let's suppose it's into the sitting into some tech park plaza in fifth floor. So we are going to mention that. Apart from that, do you have any server room? Mention that as well. So we have secure server room with some access control and some surveillance as well. Apart from that, there are certain people who have been working from home as well. And for that, we are using a VPN. So there are certain remote or home office environment for authorized employee, and they are using the VPN. So that what we are going to include in this. Okay. So first you have covered a physical boundary, then we will be moving into the organization boundary now. Okay. So in your organization boundary, what all things have been covered? So we have some of the development team. You're all the departments in short. Okay. So how many departments are there in your organization? We are going to make a list of it. Okay, so we have a development team, we have a cloud infrastructure management team, then we have the IT support and the operation team, we have the HR team who is doing an onboarding services. We have the admin and finance department. We have some of the government, you can say the governance committees as well. Okay, so you are going to make a list of all this organization boundaries. Okay, all the department. Okay. Then you will be covering what? Technological department. What all technology you have been using in this organization. The third portion will be my technological boundary. Okay. So we are using some you can say internal applications like CRM, uh, ticketing application. We have some of the client portals. We are using some cloud environment like AWS, Azure. We are using some firewalls, IDS. Okay, there are certain you can say laptop which have been issued by the company, some of the mobile devices which have been issued by the company to the employees. Okay, so like this, we are going to make a track of it. Okay, so first the physical boundaries, the physical can say location, then your organization boundaries, what all department, and then is your technology, what all technology or tools which has been used in this organization. Okay, so we will be mentioning all those information. Okay, and then we will be moving into the next part, which is your interested parties. Now, interested parties are what? These interested parties are the people, or you can say, are the things which is getting benefited from that organization, will become an interested party. Okay. So there will be an stakeholders like your client, employees, regulators, okay, some of the management, vendors, partners. Okay. So all those things, all those can say, all this will become an interested party for that organization because client, their data are been can say are being used. So we have to make sure the confidentiality and integrity has been maintained for their data. So we have the employees as well. What they are using? They are using the systems. They are using the application. They are using those data internally. So we have to make sure the systems have been secured. There is a clear access controls have been assigned to each and every one. Okay. There are certain regulators as well. Okay. So we are following some applicable laws. Okay, laws which is been you can say listed by that land, okay, or by that state or by that country. So we are following that those laws. So we have to make sure that organization has been compliant with that applicable laws like IT acts. Okay, there are certain you can say then the interested party will be your management as well. We are going to reduce the risk and we are going to maintain the reputation for the management. How? By performing the assessment on a regular basis. Then there are vendors, partners. With that, what we maintain, how this relationship has been maintained. So we create a contract. Okay, that contractual data, you can say the security requirement will be followed by both the parties. Okay, so like this, we will be creating a list what all are the interested party, make a list of it and mention all those information because as an auditor the first thing what we are going to look into the scope document. Okay, what has been covered, where we have to invest our time, what we have to evaluate. Okay, so every auditor should have the clear idea about it. Okay, so this scope document becomes a very important document in your audit. Okay, so that's why I have mentioned some of the key pointers. Okay, so you can make a note of it. So whenever you are writing a scope document, so like this, your scope document should look like. What is the purpose of this? Okay, what is the organization? You are going to give the information about the organization. Okay, next you are going to give, can say, you are going to make a list, what has been covered in that scope. Okay, specific department or the complete organization. Give a justification. Okay, make a list of an interested party. Is there any product or services which has been under to an ISMS? Make a list of that as well. Additionally, this you can put it. Okay, there is in software development. Okay, which has been given, which we are using a service from an agile or from an DevSecOps. There are certain cloud hosting, can say, service provider. Okay, so we are partnered with them. We are hiring a third party for the HR, for the finance operations. Okay, so is there any service which has been taken? Is there any product which has been taken and that need to be covered under to an ISMS? Make a list of it. Like your customer support service, we can make a list of that as well. Okay, then is your applicable standard and legal requirement. As I said, all the legal requirement will be sitting onto the top. Okay, so whatever legal requirement you have been following, we have to follow, and based on that, your standard will be followed. Okay, so at present, we are following which standard? 27001. What are the applicable standard in our case? 27001. Okay, there is certain IT Act as well, Indian IT Act as per 20,000. We are following that as well. If you are dealing with any European country, if you are, can say, sharing the data of a European client, so we will be following the GDPR as well. Okay, so all the standard which are applicable, all the legal requirement which have been applicable, you are going to make a list over here. Okay, so quickly let me make a note of that as well. So in our case, it's 27,001. This is the first standard we are following. Then let's say we are following Indian IT Act. We are following GDPR and some contracts, NDA. Okay, so okay, so this has been done. Then the approval and authorization. Okay, so once you prepare all this information, okay, once you prepare this ISMS scope document, now this document will be sent to whom? To the management. Okay, so management is going to approve it. Okay, because if the approval is not been given, we are not going to start with an audit. Okay, so now this will be sent for the approval, and for the authorization, you will be creating a list. You can say you are going to mention the name of the approver. We have the ISMS manager. Let's say the name of the manager is John. Okay, so the name, the designation, and the signature. Okay, followed by we have the CISO, Chief Information Officer, and the Chief Information Officer name is, let's say, her name is Priya. So we will be giving that information as well. So Priya, designation is Chief Information Officer, followed by the signature and date. Okay, so this document will be shared with them, and once they give an approval, then we will start with the project. Okay, so organization has to provide an auditor. We have to prepare. So this scope document will be prepared by the auditor itself. Okay, so it's your duty to provide to prepare the scope document. Okay, so first thing, we will be preparing the scope document, and how this all information we are going to list it. Purpose, organization overview, scope statement, justification, boundary, interested party, product and services, under to an ISMS, applicable standard and legal requirement, and followed by the approval details. Okay, now once this document has been prepared, let's assume this has been approved as well. Okay, this has been approved by the management. Now, next, what we are going to do, now it's time to give, or can say to assign the task to the auditor. Okay. So as I said in the beginning, we all are acting as an auditor. Okay. This audit is been led by one team leader. Okay. So we are performing an audit. Now it's time to divide the roles and responsibility among ourselves. Okay. So first the document has been prepared, the scope has been defined. This has been done by whom? Generally, this has been done by your ISMS leader. Okay. So that person, or you can say that ISMS manager, or you can say the team leader will going to prepare this. Okay. It will be given to the management. Once they approve it, now it's time to assign the roles and responsibility so the audit further can go into a smooth direction. Okay. Now it's time to assign the audit team, define roles and responsibilities. So who will be the part of that audit? So we have the lead auditor, technical expert, observer, and note taker. Okay. So these are the members who will become a part of that audit. Okay. What will be their responsibility? So lead auditor, who will become a lead auditor? The team leader. Okay. So that team leader is going to plan, manage the audit, ensure the objectivity has been met, and going to prepare the report as well. Okay. Then we have the auditors, the team members. What they are going to do? They are going to perform the audit. In that audit, as an auditor, we are going to conduct an interview. We will collect the evidence. We will test the control. Okay. So as I mentioned over here, collect the evidence. How you are going to collect the evidence? By performing some activities. What are those activities? Doing an interview, conducting an interview with the management or with the employees, asking some few questions, testing the controls, how this has been done. By looking into the documents, we will be verifying the documents, we will be looking into the reports, we will be performing the risk assessment. Okay, so that's what an auditor is going to do. Okay, so they are going to conduct the interview, do and testing of the control, and collect the evidence. Now, once the evidence has been collected, we will move into the reporting. Okay. Now, apart from that, we have some of the technical expert as well. Now, who will become a technical expert? As an auditor, we are a technical expert. Not every time. Okay, so it is not been expected from the auditor that you should be having the technical knowledge as well. Not every time. Okay, so for that, we had a technical expert. You can ask for that technical expert who is going to assist you during an audit. Okay, let's suppose there are certain, you can say the technology which is being used by the organization, and I am not very much familiar with that technology. I am new with that technology. How I'm going to evaluate the technology? How I'm going to test that technology? So for that, I required a person who is going to help me. Okay, so we can ask for the technical expert. We can ask for that person. We can ask for that, you can say specific person who is going to assist you, who is going to help you to understand about the technology. Okay, so if required, you can make a request of the technical expert, and then we have the observer or the note taker. Okay, this observer and the note taker is sent by the management. Okay, to see how you are performing the audit. What is your current stage or what is your current state of the audit? Okay, so lead auditor are your team leader. Then we have the pool of an auditor who is going to execute the task. If required, you will be taking an assistant from the technical expert. You will be having the observer and the note taker as well. Who is going to assist you? Who is going to make an arrangement for the logistics? Who is going to make an arrangement for the observation? Who is going to observe that audit closely and going to report it to the management. Okay. Now, how this auditor are being tested? Okay, how they are being evaluated? Because every time, whenever a project is been given, whether it's an internal audit or whether it's an external audit. So I'm considering both the audit. Okay, team. So we are not specifically talking about any internal audit. We are talking from both the perspective, whether it's an internal or whether it's an external audit. The process is almost similar. Okay. So in our case, we are doing an internal audit. What if we are a part of a certification body? Same thing you are going to do over here as well. Same thing. Okay. Same strategy we are going to follow. Okay. It's not very different strategy you are going to do in internal audit and into an external audit. It's the same thing. What you do in the can say first party audit, the same thing you follow in the second party audit as well. There's a very thin line difference. In internal audit, we evaluate and we check the efficiency of the ISMS. In external audit, we only check the we only evaluate. We can say we only check the efficiency of the ISMS. That's it. We know what is the roles and responsibility of the auditor. Now it's time, okay, to assign the duties. Okay, so we will be selecting the competent, can say the competent auditors. Okay, so what I have done, I had created a small example for you to showcase how you assign the task to the auditor. Okay, so what we have done over here, we have selected some of the competent auditors. Okay, so we had verified what is the competency of those auditor are, and one more thing, we also check whether there is a no conflict of interest as well. Okay, for those auditor. So we have an auditor by the name of Rahul, Priya, and Jack. Whether those auditor are certified? Yes, this auditor are certified. Okay, so which department they have been executed? They have been excluded. Rahul is a part, or you can say is a part of a team that is a DevOps team. Okay, so for that we are assigning HR and admin. Okay, so Rahul is going to evaluate HR and admin team or the admin process, not the DevOps or you can say process. Okay, Priya is a part of an HR team. So what we are assigning, Priya to audit IT department and DevOps department. Okay, Jack is not a part of any specific technical team. It's an independent auditor. So what we are assigning, to observe the admin audit. Okay, so this is how we have assigned the task between the auditor. And we also make sure there is no conflict of interest as well. Okay, between the work. And how you are going to check it? If you are doing the audit internally, you can take all this information from the HR. Okay, whether the auditor is competent, he has given the cert, he has written, does he hold a certificate? From there, you can get this information. Does auditor understand the company operations? So you can also get an information from the HR if the HR has done any evaluation of this auditor. Okay, generally this has been done annually. Okay, so the portal, if in your case, okay, so you guys might have gone under through an you can say learning and development process as well. Okay, so what nowadays organization has been doing, they are simply following this L&D department. They have a dedicated team over there, L&D team, who make sure that every individual is upgrading themselves. Okay, if you don't want the same person to be sitting onto the same level. Okay, so to maintain the competency, the task, or you can say because the learning and development program is being developed by the organization, and from there they evaluate what is the current stage of of these employees, whether they have understood whatever training has been conducted. So there will be a feedback, there will be a small assessment, and that report will be submitted to the management, or you can say the manager. Okay, so you can get all this information for the auditors as well. So whether that auditor is competent enough, yes. Auditor is holding a certificate, yes. In which department that auditor is working, kindly exclude that department. So this auditor can focus onto that, can say given area. There will be no conflict of interest. Okay. So once the task is been, task has been assigned to this auditor. Now what we are going to do, we are going to prepare a schedule. Okay. So first thing what we have done, we have created the scope document. Okay. We have checked what are the roles and responsibility, who will become a part of that audit. There will be one team leader. There will be 40 auditors. There will be two, let's assume there will be two technical expert and one observer. Okay. Now, when I say there will be 40 auditors, now every auditor should be working into specific area. There will be a specific task given to each and every auditor. So let's assign those tasks to each and every auditor. That we are what we are doing over here. Okay, because one person cannot evaluate everything. So we are dividing the task between our team members. Now, once the task has been divided, then we will be creating a schedule. Okay, assigning areas and audit schedule. Okay. So we have prepared a schedule for 3 days. This is an audit done in 3 days. Okay. Assigning areas and audit schedule. Okay. Department wise, you can create a schedule. Okay. So everyone can have a bird eye view, even your management as well. What is the current on today's state, which department is getting evaluated and who is performing the task. Okay. So everyone can have that information handy. Okay. We are documenting each and everything. One more team. Audit is all about in documentation. Everything need to be documented. Okay, whatever things we are discussing, okay, whatever slides I am showcasing in front of you, this is what a document is all about. Okay, this is how we will be preparing the document and maintaining it for a longer period of run. Okay, so schedule has been prepared. Now what do we have in the schedule? Date wise, that is your June 16. Okay. Which department will be evaluated? HR and admin. And who is going to do that? Auditor name is Rahul. What that Rahul is going to do? First of all, Rahul is going to interview with HR. Okay. You can say the HR manager and the HR key persons. Along with that, Rahul is going to evaluate the visitor logs as well. Okay. On June 17, which department will be evaluated? Development department. And who is going to do this? Priya is going to evaluate it. What Priya is going to do? First of all, Priya is going to check the source code access and SDLC policies as well. Okay, there will be multiple things you can do. Okay, I had mentioned few information, few can say few items over here. Okay, there are lots of things we are going to. We are going to look into the can say the policy document. We are going to look into the process document. Okay, we are going to look into the tools or can say the application which has been used, how it has been used. Okay, what is the what access control has been given. So each and everything we are going to we evaluate one by one. Okay, by looking into the sensitivity. Okay, apart from that, on June 17, the IT infrastructure will be evaluated by whom? By Jack. What Jack is going to do? Jack is going to look into the network and set security checks. Okay. And on June 18, there will be a final review. Okay. So whatever evidence has been collected by these people, we are going to evaluate and discuss on that evidence. And who is going to do this? Everyone will be leading it, and the team leader has also been involved in this. Okay. So like this, you will be preparing a schedule for the audit. Okay. So let's suppose it's an audit for 5 days, audit for 10 days. Okay. So based on that timeline, you will be preparing the schedule. Okay. On day one, what to be done. On day two, what to be done. On day three, what to be done. Okay. So once the schedule has been prepared, then there will be a briefing. Okay. So there will be a briefing given to each and every auditor. Okay, so before the audit, there will be a pre-audit briefing. So we are going to share the audit plan. Okay, we are going to assign the areas. We are going to clarify what all questions we are going to ask for the interview, how the report format should look like. Okay, which template we are going to follow. Okay, what can say what ethics we are going to follow. We are going to sign auditor code of conduct as well. Okay, how auditor need to be presented in front of an auditee. Okay, all those things where I can say a small briefing will be given by the team leader to all this auditor. Okay, so in that team meeting, or you can say in team briefing, they will discuss onto the plan, the schedule. They will discuss onto each and every roles and responsibility given assigned to every individual. They are going to talk on the reporting part as well, which template we are going to follow. Okay. They are going to talk about, you can say, then will be discussing on to the ethics part as well. And we can say auditor code of conduct as well, how auditors need to be presented in front of an auditing. Okay. So during the meeting, this all will be discussed between the auditors. Okay. So we are not started the audit process as of now. Okay, Steve, we haven't started the audit process. We are still into the first phase where we are preparing ourselves for the audit. Okay, we call it as a pre-audit. Okay, and sitting onto the pre-audit briefing. Okay. And in short, how your final this document in the same document you can mention this information that lead auditor. Just a second. Okay, lead auditor is just a minute. Lead auditor is Rahul. Okay. Certified ISO 27001. Then your auditors. All are the auditors. Rahul, Priya, and Jack. These all are my auditors. Scope, all department. We are covering each and everything. Date 16 to 18th June 2025. Okay, followed by the approver name. Approved by whom? Okay, your ISMS manager, whoever the ISMS manager for that organization is. Okay, so like this, your final, you can say at the bottom of your document, you are going to mention, you are going to summarize all those things. So audit team has been assigned. This is the document for that. Audit team, or you can say the audit team members have been assigned to do an audit for InfosecTrain. So this is my lead auditor name. This is my auditor's name. This is the scope which we are going to cover, on which date you are going to start with an audit, and this has been approved by ISMS manager. Okay, so like this, you are going to fill that information. Who will be the observer in third party audit? Okay, so it will be the auditee. Okay, so auditee will be sending the observer, not the certification body. Okay, so because they want an update, they want to see where the what is the process, what is the progress of the audit. So this will be sent by the, we call it as a guide and observer. That is the technical term we use for certification audit, and this that will be sent by the auditee. You can say the organization, because they are not going to ask, they are not going to question to the auditor. Okay, what you are doing on day one, what is the progress of your audit is, because we are not going to, you can say we are not directly reporting to the audit, we are reporting to the certification body. Okay, now once the schedule has been done, okay, after that, what we are going to do? Okay, so we have created the document, scope document, we have assigned the roles and responsibility, all the auditors have been duties have been given. Now it's time to start the audit. Okay, to start with the audit, we start with a meeting. Okay, we call it as an opening meeting. This has been done in both the audit, whether it's an internal audit or whether it's an external audit. We call it as an opening meeting. Okay, in that opening meeting, what you are going to do and who will lead that opening meeting? This meeting will be led by team leader. In our case, who is the team leader? Rahul is the team leader. So Rahul is going to lead the team. First of all, there will be a welcome, an introduction will be given. Okay. So lead auditor going to greet the team, going to introduce each and every team member. What are their roles and responsibilities? Okay, and this will be given in front of an management. Okay, there will be an attendance sheet. Okay, so because we want to make sure who is a part of this meeting, so attendance sheet, the logs will be collected. Okay, so you can go a printed attendance form as well, or you can remotely you can say go with a digital document signing as well. It's optional. Okay, it's totally again a company's call how they want to record this attendance. They can go with a digital as well. They can go with a manual as well. Okay, so as I said, first welcome. Greeting has been done. Introduction of the team leader, introduction of the team members will be given by the team leader only. Attendance will be taken. Okay. Then there will be a discussion. What is the purpose of the audit? The purpose is to evaluate the 27,001. Okay. So the organization can ready for the certificate if it is an internal audit. If it is an external audit, again evaluate often 27,001 to get certified. Okay, so the purpose will be discussed, then the scope reminder. Okay, so the team leader is going to read the scope document over here, which all department they are going to cover, which all operations they are going to cover, whatever part of the scope is, this will be discussed. If any changes need to be done at this point of time, the feedback will be given by the management. If you want to make the changes into the scope, yes, we can do that as well. Okay, so as a team leader is going to read out the scope to get the confirmation. Once the scope, we can say scope has been discussed, then the process will be explained. Okay, so what methodology we are going to follow? Let's suppose we first going to review the document, then we are going to do an interview, then we will be looking into the sampling. Okay, then we will be looking into the technical evidence. So like this, we will be collecting the evidence. This is my processes. This is my approaches. I'm simply following the step-by-step approach. Okay, first I'm going to review the document. Document can be any. It can be in policy document, it can be in process document, it can be your, you can say the reports. So first we are going to review the report. Okay, that is what I have planned for. So first there will be a report, I can say the document review. Then there will be an interview we have scheduled. Okay, so interview with first of all interview with all the process owner and that and after that there will be an interview with all the process members. Okay, then we will be looking into the technical into the technology. Okay, so like this I have prepared my step-by-step approach. Okay, so team leader is going to explain the audit process. Okay, when the interview has been scheduled, on which date, because we cannot schedule the interview on any of the date, so there will be no surprise interview. Okay, so you have to give this information in prior. What if that person is not available on that day? So we can make the adjustment. Okay, we can make the changes. So it's completely fine. So it's better to give this information in prior. So the confirmation is been taken from, you can say from the management about the interview schedule. Then any arrangement. Okay, let's suppose we have to visit two department. Okay, so there will be a separate, we can say, person who is going to take care of all this arrangement. Okay, the logistic arrangement, approval thing, or approval things, all those things. Okay, I want to have an access to a specific log file. Okay, who is going to give me this? Or who is going to make sure this? I have the dedicated approval for that. So there will be a logistic and ground rules will be checked over here. You can make a request now or else there will be a single point of contact who will be assigned to you. Okay, how the files are being shared, where the files are being kept. Okay, so I want to evaluate each and every documents. Okay, now from where you can get all these documents, so there will be a single point of contact over there. And then is your Q&A sessions. Okay, a question will be asked by the auditor, answer will be given by the management, question will be asked by the management, and answer will be given by the auditor. Okay, the question answer sessions will be happening over here, and then the signing off. Okay, now the team leader is going to send an MOM, minutes of meeting. What all things have been discussed in the opening meet, who are part of that opening meeting. This is what the strategy we have discussed, and from tomorrow onwards there will be an audit will be started. Okay, as per our discussion. Okay. So this is what the main agenda of the meeting is. So first, the welcome and introduction, attendance, purpose of the audit will be discussed, scope will be discussed, process will be discussed, interview schedule will be confirmation will be given by the management, and then the logistic and ground rules will be talked on and the question answer session. Okay. Now, once the opening meeting has been done, okay. So after that, what we are going to do, we will be starting with an audit process. Okay. So we will be starting with an audit process. We call it as an evidence collection. We will start collecting the evidence department wise. Okay. So every department will be evaluated. Now, depending on to the criticality of the department, you are going to evaluate it. It's not like that we will be keeping on checking each and everything. No. To complete the audit in 3 days, it's very tough. Okay. Think practically. You are going to evaluate an InfosecTrain. The size of the InfosecTrain is almost 150 to 200 employees. Okay, and there are more than 50. Okay, let's suppose there are more than 25 process in the InfosecTrain. Lots of tools are being used. Okay, now to evaluate each and everything in the 5 days, it's again next to impossible. So what we do as an auditor, what we follow, follow you can say our approach. We call it as a top-down approach or risk-based approach. Okay. Also, we do use the sampling method as well over here. Okay. Because everything cannot be audited. Look into the criticality. Okay. The criticality of the process, criticality of that asset, or criticality of that data. Based on that, you will start collecting the evidence. Which data you feel so, or which asset you feel so is more critical. Okay. And based on that, you will prepare your strategy. Okay. Now the meeting has been done. Day one, we will start evaluating. Okay. So evaluating means we will be collecting the evidence from various department, looking into multiple. So randomly, I have picked a specific control from every department to verify whether that organization is following that specific control or not. Okay. So I have connected with an HR department. Okay, so for an HR, there is an relevant control which has been followed. What is that control? Okay. One small correction. Sorry for that. This is an control, not the clause. Sorry for that mistake. This is an control. So for HR, there is a very specific control which has been followed. What is that? If you look into the ISMS manual, it has been saying mandatory you have to follow it. Each and every organization will have to mandatory follow it if they are fulfilling the 27,001 requirement. What is that? Information security awareness, education and training to be given to each and every members. Okay. So let me check whether the InfosecTrain is giving an awareness session to every employees. Okay. So what we are going to do, I am going to verify onboarding and ongoing training programs. Okay. So first I'm going to interview the HR manager. We are going to ask a question to explain how the onboarding checks have been done, how the security trainings have been done, what is the frequency of the security training. Okay. Again, I cannot rely onto this information 100%. How I will be coming to know that the person that the HR manager has been saying correct or not. Okay. I will be looking into document now. I will be looking into the checklist. Okay. So show me on which date you have conducted the training. Show me that evidence. Okay. Whether you have sent an email to all the employee where you have kept the track. Okay. What are logs? Where if you have conducted the virtual meeting, there might be a log files generated. Show me those log files. Show me the attendance list. Okay. So we will be looking into that documental evidence now. I will be assessing security training logs as well. Okay, if any specific LMS has been used, definitely that LMS will be having the timestamps as well. Okay, I will be looking into the calendars. So like this, I will be collecting the evidence, looking into the LMS training logs, looking into onboarding policies, PDF, looking into the screenshot of the training modules of phishing, password hygiene, any kind of training it can be. Okay. So with that, I came to know that that the new hire is completing the training program within 3 days. Okay, so we had observed this information. Okay, that's very good. Okay, so with that means this control is perfectly fine. Okay, there is no problem with this control. Okay, there is no non-conformity associated with this control. So company or that HR team is going to making sure that within 3 days, the whatever employee, whoever is been can say is been onboarded. So within 3 days, the training has been given. That's good. Each and every members are been updated. Okay. Then I moved into the IT department. So in IT department specifically, we tested control number 8.10. That is our disposal of the information. So with this, we are going to validate the secure disposal of the data bearing asset. Okay. So in IT department, I am confirming if the data is no longer needed. So what the organization is doing with that information, whether they are disposing or not, do they have any policy for that? Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to interview the IT support leader. We are going to ask them a specific question. What is the end of life, can say life device disposal process? Okay. If your one, can say physical device is no longer needed, okay, and that device is very much old, what you are what you generally do with that device? Is there any life cycle? Are you maintaining any life cycle of the devices? Okay. We will review we can say the asset inventories. We will filter all the retired hardwares. Okay. So what are the tags listed? What are the retired hardware? So whether those retired hardware have been disposed or not? What is the current state of that? We will start collecting the disposal, you can say records as well. Okay, so from where you can get it. So whenever any, you can say hardware are being disposed, there will be an, I can say, invoice will be given by that vendor, e-waste vendors. Okay, that this device has been destructed. You will be rewarded a certificate. We will be looking into that certificate. Whether the certificate has been rewarded. If you have been saying, if InfosecTrain has been saying there are 50 devices, okay, which have been retired. So what they have done with that 50 retired devices, they have, you can say, they have given to the vendors, e-waste vendors. And those e-waste vendors is going to give them a certificate after the destructions. Okay, so like this, I will start collecting the evidence. The disposable policy document, asset disposable logs, which will be maintained into your Excel file. There will be a certificate. Vendor will be going to provide you the certificate. So that certificate is going to give me the confirmation. We call it as a confirmation, conformity evidence. So like this, I get a confirmation that this control is again completely working fine. There is no problem with this control. If anything has been missing in between, if that vendor is not giving the certificate, if that organization is not having the certificate about that 50, can say 50 devices, now there is a problem. I will be making a note over here. Okay, though information about this 50 devices. Okay, you can say it's a non-conformity. It's a problem. Okay. Then I have moved into the other department, admin department. In admin department specifically, I'm checking into the control which is talking on physical security monitoring, how the physical security has been monitored by the admin team. Who is coming in, who is going out, how that record has been maintained. Is there any visitor coming inside the organization without any access? Okay, so we will be evaluating that. So what action we are going to take as an auditor, what I'm going to do, I'm going to first of all look into the access control over physical entry, over the monitoring. I will be interviewing the admin head, okay, asking few questions like what is the visitor access process is, how you are making a record of the visitor, what all information you are collecting of the visitor. Okay, you guys might have encountered such kind of a situation whenever you visit any new organization or any organization. Okay, not your individual organization, any new organization. So over there, first of all, there will be an entry made. Okay, and during that, we provide some information. Okay, our name, our phone number, purpose of the visit, followed by on which date, time, to whom you have been visiting. Okay, if you are carrying an asset, that asset number is been mentioned, is been tagged over there. Okay, we have to give that information as well. So like this, the logs will be maintained. So we will be asking this information to the admin as well. How you are processing, how you are maintaining those logs, what are your surveillance coverage. Okay, how for how long you are keeping that surveillance recordings in your database. 30 days, 40 days, what is your retention policies. Okay, we will are going to review the visitor logbooks. If there is any missing, you can say values, we will be making a note over there. Let's suppose we found a entry missing. There is an exit, you can say there is no exit signature has been taken of one contractor. Okay, so like this, I will be making a note in my, you can say in my document. Okay, there is an entry missing. That is a signature of the contractor who is visited on, let's say, 12th of June. Okay, so like this, I will be collecting the evidence. Then we have the department, which is your development department. So in development department specifically, I have picked a control, which is your secure development lifecycle. Okay, now how I'm going to test this control? We are going to verify the integrity of and security in software development practice. What practice has been followed in that software development lifecycle? Okay, so this is what I am doing over here. I am doing a control testing. Okay, I am verifying the integrity of and security of software development process. Okay, so what I am going to do, first of all, I am going to interview the DevOps manager. Okay, walk me through the SDLC steps and secure coding practices. What secure coding best practice you have been following? We are going to review the secure, we can say secure SDLC policies as well. What is the threat modeling policies? What are the codes? How the code has been written? Is there any pre-development testing has been conducted? If yes, show me the report. How the testing has been done? When the testing has been done? So like this, we will start looking into those records. We will be looking into the timestamps as well. Okay, so which specific tools have been used? Jira has been used. Okay, when the Jira has been onboarded, what security task has been mapped with the sprints? Okay, so like this, I will be looking into different information. Okay, and based on this, we will be making the evidence list. SDLC policy, which is into the PDF file. We have the code review checks have been done. Vulnerability test reports have been updated. Okay, specifically performed. Okay, so I'm using lots of an technique over here. As an auditor, I'm using multiple techniques. First of all, I'm going with an interview. Second, I'm going with an observation. Third, I'm going with a document review, isn't it? So I'm following certain, we can say multiple steps over here, creating my own strategies and simply performing that evidence collection over here. Okay, so you can use these techniques. You can look into the records. You can look into the, you can say that you can go to the interview. You can look into the walkthroughs. Okay, you can look into specific, can say specific documents. Okay, so like this, you can test that specific control. Okay, and how many controls we do have? We have 93 controls, and it's not necessary that all the 93 controls will be applicable. It's not necessary. Okay, depending on to, you can say organization to organization, which they feel so after the audit, which specifically which control is very much important, they will be putting those controls. Okay, so there is a possibility only 80 controls are applicable, rest 13 controls not required, so we won't be having those controls. We won't be testing those controls. It's completely fine. Okay, So for every control, we will start collecting the evidence. Okay, you can randomly select any of the control. Okay, we call it as random sampling. You can do that as well. There are multiple approach for that. Okay. NCS, we will talk on it later. Don't worry. Correct. SOA, statement of applicability. Absolutely. There you will get the information which specific control is there, which specific control has been omitted. Okay. Now, I have shown you what is the process I have followed to test the control. Okay. Now, what I have done, I have created a small report of it. Okay. I have made an entry that HR department has been evaluated. In that HR department, specific control has been evaluated. And what is my result? Okay. Whether the result is true or whether the result is false. We have tested the IT department, and in IT department specifically, we have tested the disposable of information, a control number 8.10. Okay, what is the result of that? So for that, I have created the summary of department findings. Have a look into this. Specifically department wise, that control. Okay, the control has been tested. Okay, so what do we have? We have the department control number. What are your findings and what is the status? Okay, so HR department awareness and training, all new employees have been trained. Status is okay. IT department information for the disposal logs and certificates are in place. Status is okay. Admin physical monitoring, one visitor log is incomplete. OFI. OFI stands for opportunity for improvement. Okay, no worries. Next time, don't fall into the same thing. Make sure you are updating, you are keeping a record of each and everything. Okay, development control number 8.25 secure SDLC. Okay, secure development has been verified. Yes. Okay. So what we have done, we have simply quickly, I have shown you how the testing of the control has been done. Okay. I'm hoping most of you are getting an idea now how an audit starts, and during an audit, what all things we do. First, we could prepare the scope document. Once the document has been done, we go with the team. We assign the team. Okay, we assign the roles and responsibility between the team members. Then there will be a meeting with the management. After the meeting, we will start with the audit. Okay, you can go with any process. It's totally your choice. You can start with the control testing, or you can go with the documentation. You can go with the interview. It's totally optional. Okay. In my case, in this case, what I have done first, I have evaluated the controls first. Okay. Next, I think so. Let's say I am planning for an interview. I'm going to interview. You can say the management now. Okay, we can ask them few questions related to the ISMS. So like this, you can plan for. Okay. Now, next thing we will talk on the risk assessment part. Now, before jumping into the risk assessment, we will be creating the methodology. We will be discussing onto the methodology. We will be discussing onto the, I can say, specifically the assets. What will be the asset? How the assets inventories have been maintained. Okay. What will be the evaluation process? All those things. Okay. So everyone will be comfortable how the assessment, or you can say how generally the risk assessment we do during an audit. But before jumping into the risk assessment, that I am planning to do that part into the next class because I don't want any gap in between. Okay, so we will be going into a flow. It's a bit lengthy process. So we'll understand the each and every step-by-step approach of the risk assessment.